Back everyone, welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. The Orville season premiere, Old Wounds, the recap and review, and here I am to talk about this episode. That just happened. It happened. I'm here a little bit early because I didn't want to hold my thoughts. So I'm out here to talk about the episode of the Orville, talk about the premiere, talk about the good, the bad, the blah, whatever I thought about it, and kind of what I'm looking forward to for a series through. We may recap the episode a little bit, but I may yada yada this a little bit. This starts for back-to-back Star Trek-y Sundays. Next week is the premiere of the official Star Trek series, Discovery. This was a little bit more of... well, we'll get into what the hell it was in a few minutes. But before I go any further, I'm not alone. I have with me some of the best friends, some of the wonderful folks, some of the good people in the live motherfucking chat right here. We got Ian, Walking David, Hannibal is already in the motherfucking chat right now. Getting ready to... I think some people that might be popping on in here maybe haven't seen the Orville, maybe don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Asking me if I'm talking about a brand of popcorn. I'm in fact not talking about a brand of popcorn. I'm talking about the new Seth MacFarlane series on Fox that debuted today that is Star Trek-y in a lot of ways. And again, I'm going to get into what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. It was a mixed bag for me, just to kind of get my quick thoughts out there. I thought it wasn't very exciting, and I don't see it necessarily grabbing new people. But anyways, let's just get the hell started here. So, if you guys want to get your voice in the conversation, or if you're watching us for the very first time, please hit the subscribe button. We talk about shows right after they air. I don't know if Orville is going to be a show I talk about every single week, but I'd love to hear people's thoughts about this premiere episode. Please jump in the comment section if you're watching this later for the very first time, or if you watch this episode because, Phil's talking about this episode, I'm going to watch it. I'd love to hear what anyone thinks in the live motherfucking chat. You can also call on in at 781-990-8509 and leave a voicemail 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or text that number. We also have a call-in number this evening as well at 714-694-4120, and make sure you subscribe for all season long of discussions about random television programs that pop up. So let's look into the motherfucking chat right now. We got Mike, we got William, we got Freddie, we got so many good friends in the live chat. They're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna be here for a few minutes once you start talking about this. I'm out. Good hello and good night, you motherfuckers. Jumping in to say hi, but I gotta go because I am gone. Hannibal says, hey, you cunt. Hey, Philly boy, what's going on? Great to see everybody watching conspiracy videos, and I got the notification. Hola, great to see you. I hate Seth MacFarlane, but we love you. Hey, Phil, what's going on? Okay. So let's get into this whole thing right off the bat. Now, I think I should probably say what my opinion of Seth MacFarlane is, just in general as a creator. Now, my opinion of Seth MacFarlane is the first few seasons of Family Guy I thought were very funny. Before they went off the air and came back, I thought previous to that it was very funny. When Family Guy came back, it never quite grabbed me the same way. I'm not going to tell anyone that's into it, fuck you, your stupid comedy is a very subjective thing. And I feel like, for the most part, every time he does a different project, he tends to recycle the same kind of jokes. I feel like what he did in Ted was kind of like just a resurfacing of Family Guy jokes with a different skin on it. Whether you do American Dad, Cleveland Show, whatever kind of show he does, they always kind of have the same ebb and flow to his joke tone and the way the jokes are told. And it's not me. I'm not a huge fan of what he does. So going into this show, my expectations were at a very low point. And sorry, I have my cat in here. My cat's like, I especially don't want to hear you talk about this series. I had to watch it. I don't want to hear it. So excuse me for 1 second while I let the pussy out of the room. Play some. Pussy, you want to exit? Oh, you did. Thank you. Sorry, you guys probably could tell behind me because you can see behind me. Stephanie let him out. She heard him scratching. Great to see everyone. Oh, great to see Nymeria in the chat. I love you, Phil, but I'm watching it right now, so I'll watch this later. Good luck. Family Guy sucks. American Dad's the best. For whatever it's worth, Seth does usually per episode maybe have one or two jokes that hits me. That being said, now going into the Orville, I was expecting a little bit more spoof. I think for my approximation of the series after one episode is it took itself way more serious than anything I've ever seen him do before for a tone of the series. I think for good points, let's talk about the good stuff first. I think for the most part, 80% of the sets and the way everything looks very good, looks very Trekky. The music is a mixed bag. Sometimes they get it right. Sometimes it comes off as like ridiculously fucking cheesy. It's going to be on both sides, good and bad. The side characters, I think they nailed the side characters. I like the Klingon-like third in command guy. I like the wannabe Data dude. I like generally all the side characters. The biggest problem I have with it is I think Seth MacFarlane should not be the star of it if it's going to be this kind of show. If you want to do an over-the-top, crazy Seth MacFarlane in space kind of thing, on the verge of a Galaxy Quest, Futurama kind of tone to it all, that'd be one thing. What this series is doing, and it's the good part of it that I like, but they're not quite there yet, I don't think, is it's trying to elicit the same kind of feelings that I got from 90s Trek. Everything's wrapped up in an episode. Everything's bright and light. Everything's kind of cheesy and talking about the humankind. The jokes, the Seth jokes that are mixed in there are very dry and flat, and they almost feel off-tone to what's going on in this show. And, I mean, some people could completely disagree with me on this one, but I think that the show suffers from one of those it doesn't know what the fuck it is kind of show it is diseases at this point, and it's still the first episode, so I'm gonna give it a couple three because there's enough. It's bathing in Star Trek love, but what hurts me here is Seth MacFarlane is the weak element of the cast. Him being in the show, I don't mind that, but what he should have put himself as is like a Guinan-like character. Whoopi Goldberg's character, or Quark, or something like that, from on the ship, like working in a bar on the ship, or have him be the helmsman, or something like that. Him being a lesser character, and then get a bigger actor with more gravitas. Like someone, it's hard to say because I'm gonna say like some big stars, like someone like Tom Hanks or something. Or you just get someone that can play comedy and can play serious, but has a little bit more gravitas as an actor. Because there were some of those moments in this episode where I appreciate what the fuck they were trying to do, where they have this like a good scene and good elements going there, but he just does not have the acting chops to pull it off. So it comes off as junior high school fan fiction-y a couple of points in times with his acting, and it's just pathetically bad and leaves me wanting, because every captain that you've had, whether it be Archer, whether it be Janeway, whether it be Sisko, both Kirks or Picard, they have this gravitas about them. And Seth, I know he's playing a different kind of character, or whatever his name is. I keep calling him Seth because I don't know. Funny joke. I don't know the characters' names offhand. There's a couple of jokes that worked in a sort of Mel Brooksian way to it all, but I think when they tried to do the Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane kind of jokes, it didn't work for me, and he specifically dragged the whole fucking thing down to me because everything was moving at a snail's pace. I think some of the elements in the scenes, the space battles looked neat. The way that the episode was framed is very formulaic and very Star Trek. They felt very familiar. That's okay. Just, other things, Discovery, some other things might try to push Star Trek forward. This kind of elicits those old kind of Star Trek emotions. And I'm okay with that. I just think this show is just a hodgepodge of bullshit in its form right now. Maybe it can develop into more over the next 3 episodes, but I think it needs to go more the cheesy route, like fully engage, make it so into the cheese. Eat that big steamy cheese, shove it in your body, rub the cheese whiz all over you at this point, and become very, so schmooshy and cheesy. Like, drop the funny, or make the funny subtle like it was, or referential to the Star Trek universe, like it was in the scene where one guy's over here and he goes, "Could you sit in the middle? Come on, don't sit over there. It's freaking me out." Or the other joke, which really worked really well with the seatbelts and shit like that worked. But the asides that the pilot's doing and all that stuff is kind of just boring to me. And I also think it was just in general a boring episode. And I think a lot of that has to do with Seth MacFarlane's acting needed to carry the plot. He needs to be. We have a lot of B members of a cast on this show. A lot of good elements, but not a star. There's not one star to wrap all these motherfuckers around. And I think the direction was pretty well, too. There's a couple of points that I'm going to get nitpicky about the way it looked, that it looked very cheesy. But Jon Favreau directed this episode, and I think he did a good job at directing it. I like the ebb and flow of it. But some of the acting by our lead actor was just horse shit out of my fucking bumhole, making me fucking scream and yell at my screen like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? Fuck him and his motherfucking ass. Fucking crazy motherfucking bullshit ruining my fucking Star Trek series. There's a fucking chance that this could be fucking awesome, but Seth MacFarlane's just there dicking around. And the horrible part about it is I think he's trying. And I think... it's just like watching Peter Brady to try to act his way through my Star Trek. I don't know. I'm sorry. So rant over. So let's go into the live motherfucking chat where people are like, okay, Phil, you cream cheese? There's no way this show's getting past season 1. Felicia says, I'm drunk. Is it better than Bad Pussy? Seth's acting is worse than Bad Pussy. He is straight up with a, straight up a sand snake. We getting a Joe rant from Phil? I think we did. I think we totally got a Joe rant from Phil. Galaxy Quest starring Peter Griffin. I would say that's an insult to Galaxy Quest right now. Tim Allen would be a fucking great captain for this ship. For whatever it's worth, that's the type of person I'm talking about. That should have been the star of this show. Seth should have wrote it, directed, and played a bit part on the show, and not directed it, but you know what I mean. The show ran it. But had a bigger actor, a Gary Sinise, or fucking I don't know, just somebody with a little bit more, I don't know, that can hold a scene, because you're trying to be more serious of a show than you may be advertised or that is in his wheelhouse as a performer. I think Seth MacFarlane, if you're into his comedy, he can be a funny guy, but he's not trying to be funny in that sense in this show. He's trying to be a captain. He's trying to be a real character. He's trying to be a real boy, and he can't pull it off. Not for me, anyways. And yeah, the joke about not remembering characters' names, that was really funny too. And scrolling through the live chat, you guys are fucking amazing. Thank you so much. Contemplating a sandwich. This show is cancellation written all over it. Weekend at Felicia's. Everyone must be drunk. I demand it. Seth MacFarlane dumped Emil Clark. This guy definitely has probs. Weekend at Felicia's. I'll get drunk. Stab you in the face. I love TV show Dorn, says someone on there. Miss America is on. Gotta shut this shit off and watch Miss America. Turn Miss America on in the background while I'm talking. And here we have Miss Washington. She's from Seattle. Her talent is playing... I always love the talent part. It's always interesting. Her talent is saying all 50 states in under 20 seconds. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, California, Georgia, Ohio, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Miss Washington, that was excellent, but I'm afraid to tell you that was 28 seconds, not 20 seconds. Oh, shit, I fucked it up. I'm gonna cap. Sorry, that's my little aside. But, so I think the show, I guess, maybe has potential if they have interesting storylines. You have a couple of episodes directed by Jonathan Frakes coming up here. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Also, Brendan Braga is directing an episode. You have a lot of Star Trek people working on this. So I think some elements of, no pun intended, of discovery, the discovery of the Star Trek universe, meeting alien races, going through all that. I think we're going to get some of that. But I'm repeating myself. I just think Seth MacFarlane has a ceiling on his acting, and there's no more shall go. And it's just this point where we're never going to get a real psychologically deep story with him, I don't think, for my benefit. And it's a shame because I think there are enough elements here that maybe could work, but I agree, this show just has fucking cancellation written all over. And I think, part of the reason I like it is because I'm a Star Trek fan. So I'm a fan of Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager to a certain extent. So I can see the, hey, what's going on, touches that he's giving me, and can tell that he's such a fan of it, and he's handling it with care to a certain extent. But that doesn't mean it's good. That doesn't mean that episode 1 was worth suggesting this to people. No. This isn't, if you're not a fan of Trek and you can kind of watch it with Trek goggles on, and from the standpoint of, haha, this is a fun little fan fiction TV show, you're going to find it boring as shit. As watching shit melt in the sun. I mean, I personally think people that aren't into Trek are, unless you are a Seth fanboy but I think the elements of it I liked were the world building. I want to know more about the different races in this world and the planets, in the planetary species, and how it all works together. How many different planets and cultures do we have in the quadrant? How many quadrants are there in this particular universe? There's no little subtle things like there's no food replicators in this universe, and there's also seemingly no transporters in this universe, which that stuff's kind of cool to me. But that's just the stuff that was left out, and me as a Star Trek fan looking into it and being like, oh yeah, what the fuck? Oh, what's going on here? And wanting more out of it than I've gotten because I'm hungry. You know, I talked about this a little bit before with Discovery, and I'll talk more about that next week. They know that they have us over a barrel, the people that are the fans of this, and we know there's not billions of us, but the old Star Trek fans, the fans of the original series, not so much the JJ movies, except for maybe the first one and the third one a little bit, but the ones that have been waiting for Trek to come back to television. And then it's like, oh, we get both these series that are bathed in it, but we're going to see on both ends, back-to-back weeks. We're going to see how upset I get here, so let's see. We got everyone in the live motherfucking chat. Star Trek The Next Generation is the great. Galaxy Quest or Spaceballs. Ooh, that is tough. I say if I could only have one movie to keep on that, if it's like a murder, bang, kill. There's a lot of killing going on there. Marry, bang, kill. I would have to keep Spaceballs alive. I think so. And Family Guy sucks now. I got trivia questions. How long? Hour-long comedies seldom work. What's up, Phil? What's up, the motherfucking chat? We got Tim F in there. I'm an old Star Trek fan, and this was meh. This was meh for most people. I think, Kyoto, you were pretty much kind of passing out through most of it. And I got a few giggles, but it never made me laugh the way that I think it had to set itself apart and make it a different sort of thing. And this is what I'm saying. And again, and then we're going to get into talking about the episode proper and stuff. But I think it really just comes down to this. It comes down to they have half their dick in one vagina. They have half their dick in another one, and they can't really commit to satisfying either lover in this situation because it's not quite funny enough for me, and it's satirical and over the top of the Star Trek, a spoof of the Star Trek. It's not a spoof. I went into this thinking I was going to be watching a spoof. Faulty advertisement. That's not what it is. It is almost just like an episode of Star Trek with a little bit of a wannabe edge, but it's really kind of like Lower Decks in a sense, where we're just following a separate ship in the fleet instead of the main ship. And this all could have just been going on in the time of the Next Generation universe. It seems to, again, take itself way more serious than I thought it was going to. And I think that created a weird sort of feeling for me. Then if you're going to do that, then you can't have Peter Griffin as your star if you're not going the comedy route. At least that's just my silly, stupid Joe rant about the beginning of this episode. It's Felicia's birthday. She says, everyone take a shot for her birthday. I'm not going to take a shot, but I will take a sip of some wine for you on your birthday. And we'll toast to Felicia today. Yeah, I hope you feel better, baby. I just call a baby. I don't know why I was going to call you baby, Vala Margolis. It's just the better baby thing. Hope you feel better, baby. What am I, a 1950s ad man? Okay, baby. Tell me how to sell this show, baby. Half dicking, just a tip on both sides. Exactly. And no one gets satisfied. You don't feel good. No one feels good. Toast to Felicia on her birthday. And everyone, regardless of when you're watching this and you're watching this review of the Orville, raise up, even if it's a coffee, if it's a soda, if it's a drink of water, raise a drink to Felicia on her birthday and everyone toast it. Let's go. Happy bloody fucking birthday. So again, right from the beginning, you can tell this is the different than the usual tone of the Seth thing. Sets look great, show looks great. Humor does not match the thing that they're trying to set up. It's legit, and it's like the humor that the jokes that they put in almost seem obligatory. Like, oh, okay, this is Seth MacFarlane show, so we need to put in this weird like off timing joke here, or we have to put in this weird thing here. I don't know. It just didn't seem to make sense to me in all situations. Didn't catch to see it yet. Doesn't sound good. Not a huge fan of it. I think I'm a little bit higher on it than some of the people we have in the motherfucking chat, or some of the critics that I noticed. Someone shared on the tomatoes there. It has a very low rating, so most people are ranking this pretty low. I don't think it was and most of the critics I think have seen the first 3 episodes. I think there's something, we may get 1 or 2 good episodes this season, I think, for Star Trek, for people that are way into episodic Star Trek. That being said, we might not even see all 13 shows aired. This could go very poorly very quickly, and no one could be the wiser. No one could be the wiser. And fucking Halston Sage is the only good thing with her sexy self, says Broke Black Man 94. And if it was better than expected, not saying it was good. Felicia said she liked it, not a Trek fan. She enjoyed it better than expected. And also, I do want to say, as I always say, even though I'm babbling and I'm talking shit and I'm going over and over again, I think Stephanie kind of liked it more than I did, I believe. Felicia said she liked it. My friend Evan, King Baby Duck, who wrote me immediately after the episode aired and said, amazing sci-fi universe, love what got built in this episode. So I think some people are going to like this more than I do. That's not to say I don't like it. I'm just meh on it. I'm undecided. I need more of a test. It's enough for me to go watch it next week. It's not enough for me to tell you I'm going to be on here Thursday night recapping it, because I might not watch it live, but I will continue to watch this at least for another few weeks. I would say for the premiere, 5 side buttholes for this premiere, and I'm hoping that the show could give me a few 7 side buttholes. It's better than expected. Better than expected here. So let's go. Let's get into our recap here. But before I do, I think we've had a little bit of some technical difficulties, and for the first time in a while, I'm gonna play this whole song because it's relevant. Here's the recap song, and for the first time in a while, it's actually relevant to what I'm talking about. It's called Captain's Chair. A couple of times, sit in the fucking captain's chair, motherfucker. Recap. Okay, let's get into the recap. Let's get into this motherfucking recap. So, yeah, this is an awesome picture. This is maybe my my new favorite technical difficulties one. I think this one's gonna be used for a while. If you notice in the bottom corner, right by the difficulties, we see as Picard just ate a sandwich. Poor guy ate a sandwich, and now the room is all smoky. Poor guy. Technical difficulties on the Enterprise D. So let's get into the recap of this episode. Voila, hope you feel a lot better, my friend. And great to see everyone. Great to see Analysis in the live motherfucking chat. Bro, K. Rich, Freddie, Alan, Quixote, Hannibal, all of our good buddies in the live motherfucking chat. And one more time, happy birthday to Felicia. And I'm glad you liked this episode more than I. So let's get into the recap of this. And I will recap this as much as possible. But before we get into the recap, excuse me, we got said, I want to go over character names because I'm not going to remember them. I'm going to keep calling people whatever. So Seth MacFarlane plays a character named Ed Mercer. Adriana Poliski or whatever plays Kelly Grayson. We have Penny Johnson Gerald as Dr. Claire Finn, as the one Star Trek character that we actually have on the show, Cassidy Yates from Deep Space Nine, Scott Grimes as Gordon Malloy, Peter McCann as Lieutenant Commander Bordis, and we got Halston Sage as Alara, and then we have Jay Lee as John Lamar and Mark Jackson as Isaac. Chad Coleman will be on the show. We got a quick voice by Norm Macdonald. We also have Rachel MacFarlane, which I assume is Seth's wife, is the voice of the Orville computer. That's interesting. Charlize Theron will also be on this season, as well as Jeffrey Tambora and Robert Neepler from Prison Break. Oh, baby, that's what you were saying from Prison Break. T-Bone. No, what his name is? What's his name? From the Freddy Krueger guy. I'm blanking on his fucking name. And a couple of other people. And this episode was directed by Jon Favreau. We know Jon Favreau. And Brandon Braga's directing an episode. James L. Conway, Jonathan Frakes, Seth MacFarlane directs a couple of episodes. So here we go into the fucking recap of this fucking shit. And no more. So we open up with Star Trek-like music in the shot of 2418. It's all Jetson-like, flying cars. It looks like the Fifth Element mixed with the Jetsons, the kind of scene that they set up. Now, Seth MacFarlane's character arrives home, and he's in his outfit. He's in his sweet, cute little outfit. He arrives, we hear giggles. He unlocks the door, and his wife is sleeping with a blue dude who suddenly comes from his eyes in bed. And then I always forget how much he looks like Peter Brady. And he looks exactly like Peter Brady as she's like, I'm sorry. She's running down the hallway with a rock hard dick flopping in the wind going, listen, Seth, I'm sorry. Yes, I fucked her. Yes, I fucked this blue thing right. I make love to you. And if you're going to let a little blue thing fuck get between our love, Seth, you got a whole other thing coming, motherfucker. So anyways, he ends up leaving her and running away. And the show's very, very bright. Then we cut into, after a time jump, we head into Ed going into the room, into a small ship, exploring a vessel, and he's about to get his command from the Admiral guy that is on loan from League's Legends of Tomorrow. He would have gone earlier, but he's been an uninspiring leader, and he eats a mint, but it's a marble, and it's kind of just this fun side thing to show you how awkward he is. And he's been hung over 6 times before work. He'd be no one's choice for a captain. This is his only chance. Ever since he was a kid, he wanted to do this. This is kind of one of the few lines in it that I like the way Seth delivered this, because I think he was basically talking about himself in doing a Star Trek series. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be in the captain's chair, and it's cool. And he's gonna go get his helmsman Malloy, and it draws penises on everything, whatever. So we go into the holodeck kind of thing where this guy is fighting an ogre that talks funky and stuff, and so there's holodecks in this thing, and the comedy is interesting, but for me, this is part of the thing that didn't work in this episode. It's I don't know, the comedy tone just didn't balance for me in this situation. I didn't feel the friendship. I didn't feel the moment that should have been done here. The visuals are top notch though. We found out there's like 3,000 ships in the whole fleet in the quadrant. The dude's drinking a beer at 9 a.m. as he's riding in the ship. They come up to the Orville, and then we get into the 1979 Star Trek ship porn. And you might as well have a fucking porn song when we start looking at the Orville and all the ships. As I'm stalling, The fucking porn song comes in and goes, yeah, baby. Look at that ship. You see those deflectors? They make my penis hard. Get me some deflectors. Make them make my penis hard. I mean, fuck, man. There is a lot of ship porn in this thing, and it's done in a very serious way, not in the Spaceballs way, where it's the ship just keeps going forever and ever. There's legit scenes like 1979 Star Trek 1, where we're just watching the ship move, or we're watching in awe as our characters look at these obvious, not real ships that are sitting there, and that's where the acting comes into it. And you need to believe that you're actually looking at these things, and I didn't feel that in these moments. So we get back, and he meets his crew, and we see how many members are on the crew, but he scales it back as we get to meeting our main characters, which are going to be our main crew, the command crew. We got Solana, who's a security officer with super strength and can jump and have superpowers because her planet has a different oxygen level or something like that. We have John Lamar, the navigator, who likes drinking Coke. We have LT Bordis, the second officer, and a non-gender specific series, a species that only urinates once a year. We have Claire Finn from Deep Space Nine, played by Cassidy Yates, who just thinks that everyone's full of shit and she's just psyched to have a job. Well, I guess she was on 24 as well. Then we get a racist android-like creature that thinks humans are inferior, and his he's like, yeah, I'm not racist. I just think all humans suck and that are the useless species, and I'm going to use this opportunity to learn what I can. Probably later in the series, have a war with these people coming after them. Then we we fly out with a pilot and the helmsman. They're both jerks. We get sort of like a best buddy thing that the helmsman and the pilot guy, they're going to be best friends at some point in time in this series. Guy love between two guys. Then we go back to the admiral and the professor of Legends of Tomorrow, as he said, the captain. We follow the bridge crew again. There's some Star Trek songs. It's just so fucking Star Trek. Very cheesy. The music is extremely cheesy. We get this soda joke for no fucking sense. Then more ship porn, more porn and porn and porn. Ship's dick slapping me across the face. I got urinated by a ship. It was a gas urination. And someone threw a flame at me and my body went up. Wow, what a show. And then we find out that we're 19 hours away. We get some history about where they're going, and there's no bars or strip clubs there. The security officer talks about, and it's just yada yada. I mean, part of this is, like, am I recapping every single moment of this situation on a series that I'm never going to care about? I'm doing it, but I'm doing it very spitefully. This is a very spiteful recap. This is, yeah, and then this shit happened over here, and then some shit happened over here, and it kind of tickled my testicle at this part, but nothing really. 24, best age ever. Happy fucking birthday. Happy motherfucking birthday. No, you are not way too drunk. We are all here for you right now. Seth MacFarlane, for the love of Spock, stick to cartoons. Robert England, yes. Oh no, you were majestic, Freddy. I love you, buddy. Was this any good? Roust once asked. Man, no. It was meh. It was fucking meh. Nickelodeon. Oh, fuck me. Shut up and talk Gotham, Phil. You sound like Stephanie. Stephanie's like, Phil, I still have to catch up on all of last season of Gotham. I maybe, once I get through this show, I may be talking about another show at the end here, though. But, let's get through this first here. I'm like, let's trudge through these waters. It's time for the speed read recap of the night. The speed read recap of the night. Phil, go. And then he freaks out, and then we get a blob with Norm Macdonald's voice, and we find out it's his only option. Then we find out that the Orville is docking in some more space shit. And then we get Seth pissed off as he sends the whore to his office because his first officer is going to be his ex-wife. Holy shit! We get the best friend telling her that she's a bitch, and they were married, or telling the rest of the crew as they talk, and we get some interaction between the crew that I actually really like. I like that stuff. That was my favorite part of the episode. Then Ed gives her shit. They go back and forth and they give shit. I don't like you. You don't like me. You're a whore. I know you're a whore. I'm not a whore. I used to be a whore, but you left me and you made me fuck other people. You literally pushed me into that blue person's dick and I cannot do it anymore. So then we eventually painfully find our way to a planet for some life forms, searching for some life forms, just some life forms. And we meet the professor from Legend of Tomorrow, who has these seeds that can, these redwood seeds, and that they're eating because they taste delicious, but they can put it in this little ray that can fast forward things into the future. And we get this really horrible death of one of the characters eventually. So when their face falls into it, and it just looks like something you'd see out of kindergarten digital effects or something. But anyways, it's this really interesting sort of weapon that can be used. And some people, we have a cool Star Trek-like discussion, another one of my favorite parts of the episode, where we have a discussion between two characters that are like, oh, that would be great, it could feed a bunch of people. And then we have someone else go, actually, can't you realize that this could be used for a weapon? And then we have sort of a debate about the uses of this, of something like this. Reminds me of Genesis. It's Genesis! Give me Genesis! You know, so it reminds me of that kind of stuff. Oh. So, and Joe's in the live motherfucking chat saying he loved the new Star Trek. Of course, Joe's trolling. Joe, Phil is not a happy man right now. I'm so shut up and talk Gotham. I'm tried so hard not to hate it. I'm bringing some Perel. Joe loved it. Holy shit! So this could be a very interesting situation. Mm-hmm. Joe, you loved it. Interesting. I almost want you to call on in, Joe, so I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Or the next time we have Joe, maybe next week when the next episode airs, we'll try to get Joe on after episode 2 or 3 and get his thoughts, and we'll do a recap. But Joe, if you want in on the stream, I can call you. I can't invite you in on a hangout sort of situation, or you can wait and talk next time, because love to hear what you loved about it, Joe. So it was, oh, you liked it because it was boring like Babylon 5, right? I'm kidding, I'm horrible. So anyways, so we get more about the planet. Then I like that scene where we got the manipulation of the item. We come back in and they're all being held under phaser fire as the bad guys kind of get a jump on them. And then the Krills show up, and they're like the Klingon-like creatures or something like that. And there's gonna be a pizza party, and no, there's no pizza party. It's kind of a funny joke there. It's straight to off. Then we get it's straight to off. Okay. I hear what you're saying, Joe. I know what you're saying, Joe. I'm like, straight to off. What the fuck you talking about, you motherfucker? Give me 1 second and I will fix that. I have to fix that so you can call in. So I think we're gonna get Joe in on the call right now. Let me set one thing up. It should work now, Joe. If you call in now, I should get you. Joe's going right to voicemail. I'm sending Joe to voicemail, and I'm ragging on Babylon 5. So we come back in, we get a back and forth with everything. We get some hugging dickery. We get a demo how good of a real pilot our main pilot is as he rides around and does some cool dickery. We go back to our crew heading out. We see Alara. We get open up Jar of Pickles. No, open the door to Jar of Pickles joke where we see how fucking super strong she is. Boris, I really like him. I wrote there. The Skull bad guys are just stupid looking. Then we get the bad guy on a shuttlecraft. We got seatbelts and inside Star Trek joke, which was the best joke of the night. Then we get some babble on going back and forth. We get the more just back and forth Klingon stuff. And then in the frame of the shot was really good as well. And then maybe she's not a bitch and have a glue gun and so and then we get we get the glue gun situation at the end, and then we get that scene at the end, which really bothered me because I just don't think he could have pulled that shit off as an actor. So as we wait for Joe to call back in, Joe, let's see if I can call Joe. That's what I want to do. I'm gonna fucking try to call Joe. So that is the episode of the series. I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking in the live motherfucking chat. What you guys thought of the series just in general. And let me see. Here we go. Give me 1 second, as I cannot multitask. I never learned to chew gum and walk at the same time, so it is fucking tough to fucking do shit. So I am going to keep watching, though. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't hate the series. I just didn't love it in the way that I think some people did. Joe isn't the only one. I mentioned my friend Evan actually really liked the series. And I think Stephanie kind of liked the series. We have Felicia in the chat that says she liked the series. And we have Joe Dirty Locks, who absolutely loved it. So let's call Joe and see why he liked it. Let's see if calling works. We don't often call people. Oh, here we go. 1-900 call Joe. 1-900 call Joe. Picard's just looking at you, too funny. That's part of it for me too, Alan. Like he's definitely the problem with it for me. I like just about everything else about it in a lot of ways, except I didn't find the story super compelling, but I feel like he kind of brought it down for me. Well, my birthday, not technically tomorrow, but I never celebrated on today. Orville get hypes his iron. I gave the big middle finger. Not a great show, unfortunately. I don't think Joe was going to come on, but then after my Babylon 5 comment, he's quit the show. I just got a text message from him that says sorry, Phil, but I quit the show because of your incessant, horrible treatment of Deep Space of Babylon 5. Sorry, Joe. I'm a horrible person. So all in all, though, just to do kind of my last final thoughts on this. Not the best first outing for me, but it isn't completely. I'm not completely done with the series. I will definitely continue watching it, and I'm hoping that I'm going to get one or two, or at least a few good episodes. But it hasn't. It let me down a little bit in the first episode, mainly because of Seth MacFarlane himself. So there it is. That's my fucking thoughts on Orville. And let's play. While I figure this shit out, I want to stall you guys with my I'm trying to figure something out. Let me play a quick song, and I'll be right back. Wow, it's so weird hearing that sound again. It's been so long. So, hey, Joe, how's it going tonight, buddy?
It goes good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Sorry about the Babylon 5 joke. I honestly, like I've said to you many times, I've never actually watched the series, so I can't Actually, I have, because I've seen Deep Space Nine. But I haven't actually watched the series. I haven't watched the series, so I can't judge it good or bad. But anyways, so what did you like? What did you dislike? Tell us your thoughts after the first episode of Orville.
Oh, I liked it because it was a straight ripoff of Next Generation. I mean, obviously, right down to absolutely almost every detail.
Yep.
So, and
it wasn't funny.
The humor in it.
Oh, you like the humor? I didn't like the humor. I thought the humor didn't necessarily work.
It was a little stale. It wasn't it didn't wow me as much as I was hoping, judging by what, the type of shit you see in Family Guy and all those other shows that he does, American Dad, Cleveland. There wasn't anything that really jumped out like, holy shit, I can't believe they just said that or did that. But I'm hoping that after a few episodes, they'll really start like hammering some really good humor home. As far as a pilot, I thought it was decent. It's something that, I really like sci-fi shit. I really loved Galaxy Quest. This not as funny as that yet, but has potential to be.
Now, I'm curious about...
I'm definitely going to give it a chance. I like the premise. I like what it is. If you look at it, like they haven't admitted that it's a straight Star Trek ripoff.
Oh, no, he pretty much has.
Straight up fucking ripoff.
My biggest problem with that, Joe, because I agree with you, and I think everything about it I liked, Except for him, I don't think he's a strong enough actor to lead the show. I think he should have been like a bartender, like Ben Guinan on the ship, and had someone else
or
play.
a helmsman or something.
Right, and had fucking Gary Sinise play the captain or something. Or I don't know. I'm just saying Gary Sinise.
Someone else.
Yeah, somebody else. Some Tim Allen. Get Tim Allen. Fucking what the fuck? Just fucking get Tim Allen. I don't care. Like even with Galaxy Quest, somebody else. I just don't think he's strong enough because it's not quite as crazy funny. They need to go that crazy funny route if he's going to be the captain. They can't go the intellectual Star Trek Next Generation ripoff stuff that they were kind of trying with this episode, and that was my problems with it, because I do think it has the setup for a good sci-fi universe. The stuff I care about is, oh, how many ships are in the quadrant? How many alien races are there? I start asking those fucking questions, and that's cool that they're doing that, but him as a lead just isn't doing it for me. I don't know. What would you think of him?
No. I agree there. I'm hoping that it warms up. A lot of people really hated 1,000 Ways to Die in the West. And he was a little stiff in that, and he's feeling a little stiff in this. But I'm hoping he relaxes a bit and really gets into it. This show has crazy potential in my mind, and I'm going to give it a little bit while longer, a few more episodes to really see where it goes for sure.
Yep.
And I think you're absolutely right that he's probably the weakest link as far as acting goes. They should have definitely made him a much smaller role, given the lead to someone else. I think you're right about that.
Yeah, and it's a subtle thing. I don't think he's sorry, Joe, I got your picture right here. I don't think he's like maybe if they do more stories not based around him, they could work, and because they do like the characters that they have set up. I like the weird one-sexed creature. I like the racist alien bot creature take on Data. I like the security officer with the superpowers and shit. I like all of that. It's what I don't like is the Seth and his wife shit, that when they're trying to do that scene at the end that's supposed to have some emotional shit to it, or the big reveal, like, she got him on the ship. Okay, was that supposed to be a big thing?
Yeah. No, I didn't like any of that. That was kind of crappy. I wished, they could have left the whole ex-wife being on the ship out of it altogether and just made him bitter and sour towards all relationships or some shit.
Then they should have just made, like, him the second-in-command officer or something like that, and made the guy who's playing the admiral the captain or some shit like that, and maybe have Seth take over the ship halfway through the season. I don't know. Like there could have been a different way. I just don't think he again is just the last point in this. He's the weakest link on the show for me, and he brought it down a little bit of my enjoyment. Before we get to before, are you at all excited?
You also don't get any background in their relationships. You don't know exactly, like, it doesn't hit home the cheating or the breakup or any of that. So
None of it
like
does.
Big fucking deal. Who cares?
Yeah.
Ex-wife, and then they skip a year.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, okay, a year later, and everything's the same. But I like a lot of the style. I like the way the world looks. I like how clean it is, and I like that it is a Next Generation complete motherfucking ripoff.
Dude, they were hitting that Next Generation music so fucking hard.
Oh, dude, it was so bad. It was like cheesy takes on it too, but it was when they hit it so fucking hard, and it had that same cheesy feel to early Next Generation. It reminded me of like a season 1 or season 2 Next Generation episode at times too, because it was very, 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 very cheesy with the music and the Next Generation stuff.
Yep. I mean, he loves Next Generation. He's done so many spoofs in all his cartoons with that shit. You know what I mean?
But I said
it's a no-brainer that he does this show. But I agree. He shouldn't be the main,
because it's not a spoof. It's not a spoof. It's a alternate universe inspired by Star Trek. It's not making fun of Star Trek in the way that Galaxy Quest does, or the way that Spaceballs makes fun of Star Wars and Star Trek. Snotty beamed me up yesterday and it was marvelous. It almost reveres it. It almost comes off more like a fan-made film, or like a fan-made sort of thing inspired by the events of Star Trek, rather than a spoof of anything. I don't know. That's the feel I got from it.
Yep, that's exactly how it feels.
Yep. The officers are red shirts. Does that mean they're all going to start dying, says Iron? Felicia says Felicia also liked the series. She says BBM's trolling me. The autumn wind is a raider. Shake my ass. I wish I could get that color purple in the chat. We take shots for the weekend. Take shots for Felicia. But okay, so Joe, any last things you want to say about the episode?
Yeah, I feel like this is definitely this is to Star Trek as DS9 is to Bab 5.
Oh, you're a fucking dick. It's fucking Joe, you fucking ass.
But anybody out there who hasn't watched Babylon 5 should absolutely watch it and forget they ever saw Deep Space Nine or anything that correlates, because it was all stolen
love you, man.
from Michael J. Straczynski. Also, check out Michael J. Straczynski Sense8 on Netflix. It's fucking amazing.
Joe, you're mean. You're not watching Fear the Walking Dead tonight, Joe? That's what someone in the chat wants to know.
Oh God, I gave y'all Westworld. I finished watching all that shit, and now you want me to watch more Fear? No, that's not happening.
Oh fuck, man. Okay, but I'll definitely be talking to you soon. We'll be doing something together soon. I know we're also, Joe and I are going to be doing for anyone that's interested in such things, we're going to be doing sometime in the next month or so, probably could be doing a Cheers review, kind of like going over the series of Cheers, one of our favorite sitcoms for the 80s. It's a request from a family member of Joe, so we're going to fucking do it. We're going to go with this.
Awesome.
And I'm sure you want in on that review, Joe. So we'll probably do that sometime in
hell yeah,
sometime in October, maybe the beginning of November or something like that. But that won't be the next time Joe's on. But I do want to make sure I announce that as well, coming up soon. The Cheers review. So
Walking Dead is starting in October too.
Yep, Walking Dead starts in October. We got Vikings in November. We have next week. Not next week. We have. Oh no, wait. The week after next, we have Star Trek Discovery. So I don't know if you maybe want to do that recap with me live after that episode airs. Not next Sunday, but the Sunday afterwards. So we'll talk more about that. We'll talk more about that, but we'll get Joe on the Discovery recap 2 weeks from Sunday, and Stephanie and I will be on next Sunday to get drunk and make fun of the Emmys. So Joe, thanks so much for calling in, buddy.
The Emmys, oh my God! All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Peace out, MFCs. Good to talk to you all too, man.
Yeah. Bye. So there's fucking Joe. Cheers, where everyone fucking knows your motherfucking name. So everybody, that is the Orville. I'm going to be doing a lot more Star Trek content on the channel coming up. Stuff of classic Trek stuff, talking about Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, original series, Voyager, and maybe even Enterprise here and there in the movies as well. And Discovery, as I can pirate the fuck out of that show. I mean, watch that show and pay for the CBS All Access Pass. But next week's episode, the first episode of the series, will be on actual CBS. So if anyone's here just to listen to the Star Trek Discovery discussion, thank you the Orville episode 1 discussion. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really do appreciate you guys. And I will definitely be on before the end of the season to talk about Orville at least once again, or talk about it on one of the Friday streams for or roundabout kind of thing. So everyone, thank you so much. And where's the fucking music? Play some fucking music, asshole. Bye. Okay, now that that's over with. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Phil, the Issues Guy, and I'm going to be on for a little while longer. I do want to talk about another show while I'm here, just because I'm super fucking excited about it, that I just watched, and I can't help myself. This is one of my favorite shows ever on television. In this new season that just got released a couple of days ago, I binged it in a night and I took it in, and I gotta say it is one of the most cerebral, interesting experiences I've ever fucking watched in my life. I love it. I want to touch myself inappropriately and watch it again. I'm gonna end this stream soon and go and start watching this show again because I loved it that fucking much. Holy fucking crap. And of course, I'm talking about Fear the Walking Dead. Amazing. No, I'm not talking about Fear the Walking Dead. I'll donate, but you better stay. I'm not gonna play that game. If you would like to do that, you can. But I'm definitely stay on a little bit longer. I'm not gonna hijack your money to keep me on. Now, if you donate $1, that'll be 2 minutes. So yeah. Anyways, so now what I want to talk about is making a good tomato sauce. When you make a good tomato sauce, you gotta crush the tomatoes. I mean, you gotta get that tomato juice in the fucking bowl. Then you need to spit in there to fucking even it all out. Then you get the paste in there. Then you put your meatballs in there. You stick your meat in the balls. Then you dunk your real balls in it. And then it feels real good inside. Oh my fuck. And then you let it sizzle and simmer overnight with the meat in there. And you take the meat out, you eat the sauce, you bathe in it, you stick some bread in there, and you taste it. People are like, what the 1-900 super chat. You've been wanting this cooking vlog forever. No, but the show I'm talking about is a show I've talked about a lot before. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Some people aren't going to like this and aren't going to feel the way that I feel about this show. But the newest season of Bojack Horseman was released the other evening. And there were an excellent season just in general, coming off what I thought was a season that they couldn't top emotionally. And they can't come into this second season, really introduce open the world up to the other characters and go down a lot of different sort of angle arcs. It had one episode in the middle of the series that more than anything ever truly depicts how sometimes I feel with voices in my head. There was this new dynamic to the animation too, the way it kind of did alternate brain thoughts of Bojack and different characters that was happening. This sort of, I don't know, it's hard to explain it, the way they jumped inside of his mind. Then there was this other episode later in the series about his mom that I don't want to get into because I don't want to spoil shit. I'm not going to be spoiling shit here, but holy fuck. So many times I'm watching this episode, Stephanie and I are looking at each other with our mouths open fucking wide. Like, this show is so fucking heady. And I know it's not going to be everyone. Some people are just fucking stupid. I don't like it. It's fucking boring. It's this, it's that. I can know it's not everyone's type of thing. But for me, this season and some of those episodes and that show just as a whole is up there and one of my favorite shows ever. And I know maybe I'm on a fucking island with that stuff, but I never thought Will Arnett could be such a great actor. And Alison Brie's on that show. Aaron Paul is fucking excellent too. And Paul F. Tompkins is amazing in that show as Mr. Peanut Butter, and some of the funny gags, the way they intertwine the humor with the serious shit that they're trying to do. It's honestly like no show I've ever seen before in my life. It deserves to be in consideration for greatest acting jobs and grading depictions of insanity and stuff. Like fuck me gently with a fucking chainsaw. Bojack these nuts. Bojack these nuts. And again, it's question, do you have any Funko Pops? I do have one. I did add some to my Amazon store. If you're looking to buy through Amazon and some merchandise, you can find the link to my Amazon store in the description box below. No, but if you do that, you can just buy things you'd buy anyway. And you want me to add stuff there, I'll add stuff there. And if you buy stuff, I end up getting a little bit. But I do have one Funko Pop. I have a Michelangelo Funko Pop back there. Haven't seen it. Love the series. Shakes my head. Phil, you got what is shakes my head? I'm thinking sucks by dude. I'm surrounded by Italians. Don't tell me about sauce. Phil, you got it. It's my growing up with my Auntie Weezy and Uncle Louie teaching me how to make a good sauce. Phil, you got to check out The Expanse, best fucking sci-fi show ever. And now we're talking Bojack Horseman. Definitely. Fuck, where did my peach schnapps go? Fuck me, I'm moving. Show me that Funko now. Moving into enemy territory, Phil. The Irish guy's gonna kill him. Kill the fucking guineas. Washed up actors dealing with drugs, drinking, ego, personality issues. Is it a comedy? It's not a comedy. I mean, it's part comedy. I would say season 1. I don't know if you guys can still hear me. Sorry as I run around. I'm an automaton. I'm like, Broke asked me to find Funko. Must find Funko. I'll play a song and find it at some point. I was playing with it the other day, so it fell down, but I will show it to you at some point. It starts off as a comedy and definitely has some comedic elements, but to me it's more of a like human condition character piece kind of thing is what it ends up being. But it always has a satirical tone to it and a sense of humor to it. but there are some episodes that you'll leave the episode feeling icky. Almost like, not the same thing, but almost like watching an episode of Maron or like Mark Maron's kind of comedy and that sort of stuff, where you're laughing, but you're also feeling fuck. And then some of those moments, again in this season, I don't want to spoil shit, but his inner monologue, the inner monologue episode is the one I'm talking about. It's just so fucking accurate to how people with the fucking voice deal with that shit. It's incredibly well done and incredibly layered, and yeah, it's like cartoon porn for me. And Alan, you're a true slut. The Expanse is solid sci-fi with a sci-fi budget. Phil, you got to catch up with Gotham. The way you're talking about the show is making my special place tingle. I don't want to overhype it because ultimately it's... I want to say Joe's about to call back in a second and be like, yeah, I saw it. I didn't really like it. He's probably laughing his ass off right now. It's because it's true. Not everyone's going to have this kind of feeling about Bojack. I want to say we had a best of TV year. And I mean, some people are going to think I'm way blowing it out of proportion. But I don't know. I just feel like it's a tragic comedy. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. It's a tragic comedy. Flawed characters, kind of like Arrested Development, but darker. Where's my trivia song? It'll come at some point. I'll do it as quickly as I can. I'll take. I just saw your message today, but I'll try to. Depending on my schedule this week, I'll try to put something together this week. As bad as it's gonna. America, fuck yeah. But yeah, so I definitely suggest it, but this was season 4, I believe. So it has been on for a while, and it's hard to say if you're going to like it or not, because some people, as I said, might not like it. The first season is a lot more comical than the following few seasons. Or is this the 3rd season? I think it's the 4th. I can't stop giggling at you, Picard. It can be your birthday present for me. You can't rush the creative muse. Shorter episodes, I'll get started soon. It's shorter episodes, so you can kind of zip through it quicker. I would say if you get it, I like how the show introduces you to it, but I hate overhyping something. That's why I'm trying to kind of relegate it to say it's not, not everyone's going to have the same kind of feelings for the show that I do. It just got me early on as a sort of outrageous, crazy comedy when you're introduced to this satirical version of Hollywood where animals are mixed in with humans and there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's almost like the Tick world of the cartoon where there's just superheroes running amok and no one says anything and there's no real rhyme or reason to it all. And then it's sort of, the first season's really just kind of like a take on like shitting on Hollywood. The following seasons get more into dealing with Bojack's journey and Bojack as someone struggling to, make better of themselves, go their ups and downs and crap like that. And this season dealt more with his family and dealing with the reaction of the aftermath of going through shit and going through the same old cycles and stuff. Maiden of Darkness, great to see you. Great to see everybody. Great to see everyone in the live motherfucking chat tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. Even though I know some of you guys, the show that I was talking about earlier tonight, the Orville, is not necessarily everyone's cup of fucking cocaine. I mean, cup of tea, cup of coffee, cup of poop. But I appreciate you guys joining on in. Thank you so much to Joe for calling on in and sharing his thoughts and keeping things positive tonight. Joe liking the episode a lot more than me. Horsing Around is a hilarious parody of all 90s sitcoms. They were all just so ridiculous. I love fucking Horsing Around. Guys, my hands have blue spots all over them and it just keeps getting worse and probably should stop making my own drinks. Sit down and get some fucking popcorn ready. And I do realize to anyone watching this through that recap that I did of this episode of the Orville was the worst. But it's hard to recap an episode like that of a television series of something that is introducing characters and doing a lot of backstory stuff. It's like, and then these characters talk and get to know each other, and then these characters talk and get to know each other. It's definitely not everyone's cup of cocaine. But yes, Bojack Horseman is definitely a fun show. I highly recommend it. The other show I'm going to be recapping pretty soon that I do want to talk about and do a little bit of a preview for, and because I've been rewatching it since season 1. I'm in the second episode of the final season as we're getting ready for October 1st and the return of Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David. Now, Curb Your Enthusiasm is really fucking funny. It's really rewatching it and going back and rewatching the series, I forget how much it just doesn't give a fuck too. It has a little bit of that just Larry David has already made it just in his life, seemingly, like with his show, and he already played by the rules of a network television series with with NBC, with the Seinfeld thing. So in Curb Your Enthusiasm, he really doesn't hold back. And the situations, like in the last episode, in the first episode of the last season, he's teaching a young girl how to put a tampon in. She has her period in his house for the very first time, and he kind of he runs upstairs and gets her tampon, and then it's like a graphic way of him describing from outside the door of the bathroom, this girl, how to put the tampon in for the very first time. It's like awkward shit like that, like a blind guy dating a freaking girl that's wearing a fucking veil and you can't see her face. He never shies away from controversial issues and shit like that. Curb Your Enthusiasm is not really a scripted show. It's improv in the way that something like Spinal Tap or any of the Christopher Guest kind of movies are done, where Larry just comes up with kind of like situations and then has actors. A lot of Hollywood actors that you might know do guest spots on it and stuff too. The episodes, if you go back and rewatch it, will seem a little dated if you watch the early episodes, but it's still, to me, very funny. He's the ultimate awkward social situation, and it's a show that charms the fuck out of me. So Curb Your Enthusiasm is out there, and it comes back October 1st for its final season. So if you've never watched it and wanted to, if you're partial to Seinfeld at all, and even if you're not, but if you're a little partial to Seinfeld, especially the character of George Costanza, in some level, especially the early seasons and throughout all, it is like somewhat the adventures of George Costanza, because Larry is based on that, or George is based on Larry. So there's a lot of that dynamic, but it's something else too. If you're like, I don't like Seinfeld, it's too canned laughter, too sitcom-y, I hate Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld does show up. There's one season where he's a big part of the season, but for the most part, you get more old comics. Super Dave Osborne is a very big part of the show. Richard Lewis is a big part of the show. Jeff Green, Cheryl Hines plays his wife for a lot of times. We've got Abe Fox, JB Smoove comes on at a different point in time. A lot of other guest appearance actors show up for one episode here, different arcs. Mel Brooks shows up at a point in time. Ben Stiller's on there. Ross, what's his name? Ross from Friends. I'm blanking on his name. So many other actors. Shaquille O'Neal shows up for an episode. That's very funny. So it's Michael J. Fox is hilarious in an episode where he comes on there. And so cannot say enough good things about Curb Your Enthusiasm. And again, it's fun. It's comedy. Talking about comedy is something very subjective. We're going to have the Walking David on here. Him and I are going to be fucking talking about what jokes work for us, what jokes don't work for us in Curb Your Enthusiasm episodes. Joe and I will be talking about that in Cheers too. More than anything in the fucking world, I really believe this, comedy is the most subjective, if I don't even know if I'm saying the right term, but comedy is so individual. Not everyone's going to find anything funny. And some people, you could just show them a picture of someone getting kicked in the balls over and over again, and they're going to giggle. Some people, weird sound effects or fart noises are going to make them laugh every fucking time. Every time I hear this, that makes me laugh. Or anytime I hear someone say the word,
"You're a talker. Listening to talkers makes me thirsty. If any more words come pouring out your cunt mouth, I'm gonna have to eat every fucking chicken in this room."
Oh, the Hound makes me laugh every single time. But he considers himself, if you're one of those people that likes to argue the little minutia of life of, should you go in for a second dip? Do you respect wood? Do you this? Do you that? yelling at people that cut in line, people that tell you to take your shoes off of their house and you don't take your shoes off their house. Any of those kind of things, this show kind of tackles it. Yeah, David Schwimmer, thank you. So yeah, it's a funny show for me. It made me a fan of Seinfeld, actually. I was a fan of Curb first. I couldn't stand Seinfeld when it was first on. I'm like, I'm not watching this shit. And then I watched Curb Your Enthusiasm, and then it made me go back and appreciate the character of George even more, on that Jason Alexander basically was doing a Larry David impression. And then Larry David pops in there. Larry David also does the voice, if you've ever watched Seinfeld, he does the voice of Steinbrenner on Seinfeld. So it's a fun show, and this is the final season. So if you haven't watched it, now may be a good enough time. In Curb, you will learn you must respect wood. You got to respect wood. Do you respect wood, Ian? I don't think you respect wood. You don't. I don't think you're the type. I don't think you're the kind that respects wood. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting talking about a comedy, especially like a half an hour comedy, and just like everything else, 3 episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm, the final season, have already leaked like a month ago. What is up, family? What is up, Phil? Is this worth watching? I haven't watched it yet. Meh. Some people, Joe says yes. I say too early to tell. It was a giant meh. And what's going on, Bloody Talker? We have a little PlayStation, Xbox battle going on in the live motherfucking chat right now. But I think it did some decent world building, Bloody Talker, but some of the acting, especially at the top of the cast, specifically at the top of the cast, our star kind of brought me down a little bit in the series. It wasn't quite funny enough, and it wasn't quite Star Trek-y enough in the sense of like fully going into it, because some of the acting just wasn't believable for me from the lead. But I think it definitely has potential for a couple of good episodes here and there. But I did not like it. You think you have to deal with it. I'm so behind as well with what I see you guys in the chat when you catch up to what I'm talking. It's like time traveling here. It's been a while. And then you go back and forth and up, down, left, right, BA, select, motherfucking start. No, up, down, down, up, down, left, right, BA, select, start, ABBA. So everybody, I guess now's as good a time as any to start to wrap things up. I'm just piling shows on. And I'm going to be talking about another show that I watched recently. The new Netflix series that is all about taped confessions and shit like that. It's like the new taped confessions and the Mr. Big tactics in Canada and shit. What the fuck, Quixote? What's this Mr. Big tactic? I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what the shit I'm talking about. Orville is a mix of sci-fi. This is what I was curious what you thought about the series, Ian, because I know you were very excited for it. Orville is a mix of sci-fi parody, and self-parody, and that's very promising. And I don't even like Seth MacFarlane. So, I mean, it seems that there are some people that are pretty high on this show. We got Joe, my friend Evan, Ian seems pretty high in it, Felicia seems pretty high in it as well. And I definitely... Why hasn't there been a remake of Contra? Or just like an HD remake of it? Like kind of like a port like they've done with Double Dragon or other games like that. I'm the one that wants to be with you. Yeah, low expectations, I would say, were the best bet to go in on this series. I wanted to like it a little bit more than I did. Maybe that was the problem. I went into it kind of expecting that I'd be surprised and like it a lot. And I was a little underwhelmed. But who the fuck am I? Who gives a shit? You're underwhelmed? Stick this You want to see a magic trick? No one wants to see a magic trick. ABBA. I always say select as well. There's a few things I'll always remember because of repetition. And I think I've done this before in the show, but the Contra code, as I said the other thing I did earlier in the show, the all 50 states thing, and the Mike Tyson code, the fight Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, 007-373-5963. For whatever reason, that will like always be ingrained in my head. Whenever I feel sick or I feel like, you know, I might be having a heart attack or a stroke. I mean, not that I've had a lot of moments in that life, and a couple of moments, you know, when sometimes you just feel really shitty and weird. Like you get that weird, like, fuck, what's going on kind of feeling. And you kind of take faculty of yourself. Some people say their first name and their last name. Some people, whatever. I always say all 50 states in the Mike Tyson code, like Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California. Okay. Oh, 737359663. Up, down, left, up, down, left, right, BA, select, start. That's kind of my self-inventory. So one day, I know this is morbid, but I watched Bojack Horseman, so I'm all morbid. One day, when it's like my final thought's probably going to be the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out code. Like one of my last thoughts, or if I ever kind of like my mind goes somewhere else, like with my mom or something, and if I snap, I'm going to snap on the Mike Tyson code, and I'm just going to be sitting there. I'll be like the guy in Lost, where I'm just like, 16, 22, 30. I'm just like, 073735963. 073735963. That'll be the last podcast I ever do. It'll be like the Sid Barrett podcast where I just play one note on stage where it's just 007-373-5963. Where I get this aphasia where I can only say the Mike Tyson code. 007-373-5963. 007-373-5963. Darmok. $14.22. Yeah, let's see who can get the numbers out there. Sorry, ding, 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 ring the bell. We need for my Lost reference. So Lost is an interesting series to like suggest to people because I don't think the end doesn't disappoint me as much as it disappoints some people. I don't think it was a great ending, but I think it gets very silly. But that first season, I think, is such good television that sometimes I tell people to kind of just stop at the end of the first season, but it's hard to tell them to do that because they're just going to continue. But I think Lost, there are some really good moments, and it gets overlooked a lot by the ending. That's some of the one of those shows that the way they wrapped it up, it soils everything that comes before in some level. And I don't think for everybody, but I understand the problems that people have, and I find it as a weird subject. It's like one of those. How I Met Your Mother would probably be another show like that, even though it's kind of a different genre. The end destroys even talking about like the rest of the series and the great first three or four seasons of that show and the great episodes that we had, and I think every season until the end, and some other shows like that where, you know, certain things, the end just sours the whole thing. I think The Sopranos is a different example where the audience and the fans of the end of The Sopranos are split, and it's so a series that never should have ended in the begin with. You know, that's like something forever going. So because of that, the ending being left wide open, I don't think soils the rest of the series, even though I don't really like the ending. Phil just turns his radio station into one of those Cold War propaganda numbers. One could not simply watch a season. And then the communists came in here, and they tried to kill me. Listen, everybody, the Red Menace is in town. That guy down the street that has a podcast that he's called Bill's Review and Recap, he's a communist. Get McCarthy on this. Dun, 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 dun. I didn't hate The Sopranos ending, but I expected a follow-up series. I still have to believe that if James Gandolfini did not die, we would have got a movie in some level. David Chase would have brought back The Sopranos and done a full feature to close out the story. I feel like there was more to tell, whether it be if Tony did die there, if, you know, so many people, Sopranos spoiler alert, because no, it's not spoiler alert, because no one knows what happens. There's no answer to this, so it's not a spoiler. And if you're, so it's been enough time, so whatever. The Sopranos ends on a very fucking, you don't actually know what happens. But you do know towards the final season that the feds are closing in on him. There's a lot of story points that kind of reach ahead that there was enough to tell if they wanted to do kind of like the trial of Tony Soprano kind of movie. Phil, if you got my message on Discord and checked out Norseman yet, I think you're going to like it. Definitely, I will be checking out that. Phil, the commie guy. Yeah, I figured they'd come back at some point. Bill, the commie guy. Them all being jailed. I just watched the episode the other day. Lost was definitely a show that had a starting point, but freaked out when it realized that it wasn't getting canceled. So they scrambled for story point to keep it going and going and going. They waited long enough, though, for The Sopranos if they meant to pick it up. I agree, Omen. I might just be doing fan fiction, wishful thinking. If HBO gets desperate enough, they'll bring The Sopranos back. There is talks about that. I was talking about that somewhere else, that there may be a Soprano prequel in the mix. David Chase is in talks with HBO about it. Probably better that they didn't, though. It's golden in my books. Felicia is being bossy. Bad for the courses, Alan. Have you watched Game of Bones? Lots of good theories that might explain a lot. I've not watched that yet, but I will. Comebacks aren't usually good. Was it good? Comebacks aren't often good, but David Chase is one of those guys that he's such a perfectionist from what I know of his work and from just the way he does things, that if he was going to come back and do something, it's not because he needs money. It would be because he has a good story to tell and he'd do it right. He didn't fire more other writers in the history of a showrunner. He didn't horrify people and demand greatness out of them to put out shit. So if David Chase ever decided to do anything else in the Soprano universe, I would have as much faith in him as I have in Vince Gilligan and his team to do Better Call Saul, which is something I said on paper, this shouldn't work, but it works. I am too. I obviously didn't know him or anything like that, but as a fan of all of his acting, that was a big hit, James Gandolfini. I loved where he was moving into in his career, some of getting back into being willing to play the crime guy. A little bit after The Sopranos, he wanted to do more real guy roles and shit. But then he did this movie with, what's it called, The Drop, with Tom Hardy, and I don't know, I just really love him in that role. And he's doing a very Tony Soprano kind of role. And you can just imagine him getting back into it. I think he had a couple more really great roles left in him. And forget just the fact of playing Tony Soprano again, one of the most iconic characters ever. And I think there was more to play in Tony. And we got it. Maybe we got selfish because we got it for so many seasons. But his rise on that show becomes, if I'm making a list, and I will at some point, my favorite single characters or best actors to play a character, Gandolfini is, if not number one, in my top 5. And he just owned that role like no one. He was Tony Soprano. Excuse me. He was Tony Soprano, motherfucker. Quixote said, I told you to do a review of Game of Bones, motherfucker. I don't know why I'm adding. That's Quixote's voice in my head. Listen, motherfucker. I told you. Hey, I'm listening. Look. I'm slow, but I'm listening. See? And I always want to do the indie movies, but then they spend their money and do whatever pays the bill. Fuck that. I'll do shots all by my lonesome. Felicia, I'm going to match you this last bit of wine. So for a shot, I don't have any hard alcohol right now, so I'm having to shoot wine with you. Where's my? I gotta fix and get ready to shoot some wine here. But here we go. Toast to Felicia. Oh God, fucking cock-sucking cube, motherfucker. Woo! Holy crap. That's so my voice. It's going to be like a direct video sequel to Sopranos Arena of Death, starring Michael Dudecliffe. Now I'm never going to dance again the way I dance with you, Phil. You're the move. You are the wind beneath my hippie wings. Everybody's looking for a hero. No one needed someone to take a shower, but Phil showered so all the hippies thought he smelled real good. And now he took a shot of some wine, so he's singing to you. Oh, I better start wrapping up before I really start getting buzzed. Wine is not easy to chug. It's tough. It goes quick and goes to your head. It makes me start singing that song from Jaws. Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour ago, and I'm not going to sing. And it went right to my head. I'm definitely not going to sing. No matter where they go, land or sea or roam, they would always hear me singing this song. Show me the way to go home. Show me the way to go home. Now I have that fucking stuck in my head. Why did... Oh, Jaws. Two in the box, ready to go. We be fast and they be slow. Ooh, baby, touch it. Sorry. Dancing in the dark. So why don't... I guess I should start to wrap this up, because the worst thing in the world is when I don't have anything to talk about. Then I just start babbling and going illicitly ignorant rants about stupidity. I got all. I got the ignorant, stupidity, silly, goofy, tragically. Hey, what's going on, Jay? Great to see everybody. Great to see all you guys. My hair's down to my ass, and I refuse to motherfucking cut it. You shouldn't. Keep that shit long. And don't do it, Phil. Don't cut it off. See, I say this a lot, but whenever I scratch my nose on a stream, I feel like that is the slow motion moment. Like it just goes into slow motion Bionic Man moment. Do 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 do. Oh. Have a good night, Tim. Great to talk to you. Hey, there's plenty to talk about. There is plenty of fun stuff to talk about. So, but no, I am going to start to wrap things up. Not exactly finish immediately at the second right now. Just going to start the process of ending this stream. But later, everyone, thank everyone for tuning in for this Sunday night stream about Orville. And if you're curious and you're popping on in and you're like, what is this discussion? You're not talking about Orville. This is faulty motherfucking advertising. This is just a silly guy ranting ridiculously. If that is the case, I fully understand that. But you can go to the beginning of this and hear me talk about Orville. And I said it was meh. It's all right. You're the best. You're the best around. What's very interesting about that song, and I didn't know this until recently, that song was originally written for a Rocky movie, I believe Rocky 3, and Stallone ultimately decided to go with his brother Frank Stallone's version of, was it The Eye of the Tiger, maybe? Is that what it is? Rising up into the street. So that's, and I think, so the director that directed the second Rocky movie, or the first Rocky movie, took that song and used it in The Karate Kid, because he did The Karate Kid. And that's why The Karate Kid has a very Rocky feel to it. And some people may even call it the Karate Kid. You're the best around. When I was young, I used to play with my toys, and I'd recreate different events. And one thing I would repeatedly go back to, I would have like my G.I. Joes fighting wrestling toys or something like that. I might have talked about this before, but whatever. And I would always do the All Valley tournament. You know, the bullies are picking on my little Daniel-san toy. I'm going to be like, oh, little Daniel-san, wait, here we go. We'd have like, dun, dun, dun. Like we'd have like, this guy would be Daniel-san. I'd take like a zip tie, you know, like one of those red zip ties, put it around his head and give him a headband. And then he'd have like, this guy would be like Johnny, but he'd be like, I'm rolling a joint in the bathroom. I'm showering on you. Dun, 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 I'm gonna get you. Ah, got you. Oh shit. And then like, I don't know. I don't have anyone to play Mr. Miyagi right now. Let's have this thing be Mr. Miyagi. Hi, you think you can beat up Daniel-san? I'm Mr. Miyagi, or Mick from Rocky, and I'm gonna kick your ass now. Oh, you need to train me so I can kick his ass. Okay, you're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever hold you back. You're the best. Wax on, wax off, wax on, wax on. Dun, 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 dun. It's the tournament. Oh, sweep the leg. Oh, the leg. Oh, I broke the leg. See, that's why he has a little cotton swab on his leg because his legs got broken so many times in the fight. Anyways, oh, get this fight. Da, 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 da. Oh, do the crane. Ah, the crane, Johnny. So, yeah. And I mean, I never do. Sir, are you playing with your toys again? No, I'm not playing with my toys again. Yeah, it's Yokozuna. I used to have a lot more, but these are like the remaining ones I have. I in the great G.I. Joe fireworks explosions of the early 2000s, I lost so many. So many wonderful soldiers, and so many people were lost in those fires, in those explosions. But things must be done. B. Leon says, "What the fuck am I watching? What I have to readdress what I'm doing with my subscription-based services on YouTube right now." I accept I may have lost people with the play toys. But what do you think I've been doing? But the funny thing is, I haven't stopped since I ended. I'm still like, I'm so happy I have this thing. I have the overlay on right now because you guys can't see that I'm actually still fighting. This is the age-old battle. Oh, look at the fight! And I'm right, left. Oh, right, left, uppercut. Rest in peace. How about American Horror Story this season? Any good? I haven't watched it yet this season. I know Stephanie is a big fan. I think that's what she was doing while I was podcasting. She was started to watch that first episode. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think there are certain seasons and certain arcs that I've enjoyed, but it's not something I'll regularly like have to watch the new episodes of it though. But I definitely like the cast that they have, and some seasons are in certain story arcs or moments, like with everything that he does is both good and bad. So I tried a call-in and it said, "Go fuck yourself, Felicia." No, it didn't. You're lying. You're totally lying. It didn't say "Go fuck yourself, Felicia." It said The Walking David said hello to you as Littlefinger. Excuse me. Let's see. Did you try a call? I don't think you tried a call. Leave us a voicemail, Felicia. Leave us a drunk voicemail. That would be perfect. Everyone send Funko Pops to Phil's P.O. Box. The address is in the description. So I can play. It'll go downhill by the middle. Ryan Murphy. I don't know why I couldn't think of Ryan Murphy's name. I think Ryan Murphy has both a curse and a talent for making me excited at certain parts of almost every single one of the seasons of his shows, but almost always letting me down in the end. It's so consistent, and it's such a masochistic relationship I am with Ryan Murphy television shows that I'm almost at the point where I have to stop. Nip Tuck, I think, was the best at it in the sense that at least some of the early seasons had somewhat satisfying arcs. But once we got to the Carver ending, and that ending was so unsatisfying for me in a lot of ways, from that point on, everything Ryan Murphy did kind of ends really unsatisfyingly. It's like has moments of greatness and ends up getting crappy. And I think almost every season of American Horror Story is like that, where there is moments of entertainment, and then it just kind of goes downhill at some point in the middle of the season. Brooke says, "It looks like the type of show I would like, but sometimes I feel like it's geared to a younger audience. It'll go downhill per usual by the middle through. Put a forwarding request to the P.O. Box. It's yours, Broke." Broke, you'll be on like the hot list. Yeah, exactly. If I don't get to the P.O. Box in time, it will automatically get forwarded to Broke. Hey, don't. After I'm done playing with them, actually, after I'm done playing with them, I'll send them to you, Broke. That's how it will work. Picard. So I'm not sure how American Horror Story comes. Also, if people are into it, South Park comes back this week on Wednesday night. I I am going to be doing something for the premiere, either a watch through or a recap either the day after or right after. One of our super chat donators that landed on request a review requested me to review the South Park premiere and kind of just talk about like my hope for the season in general. So I'm going to hold off my thought about that, but South Park does come back this Wednesday. A lot of shows start coming back these next couple of weeks, and on September, something else comes out on like September 14th. I'm blanking on it. But there's Joe and I also like the action show last year, Lethal Weapon, which is also going to be returning. And I'm very curious to see how season 2 of the Lethal Weapon goes, if they can keep up the same level of excitement and fun from a week to week in an action movie kind of point. I have a lot of different parts of my body that like getting tickled at different times. I mentioned this a lot. Stuff that challenges my limited intellect, stuff that just makes me go, woo, wow, look at the shiny things flashing in front of me. Stuff that, turns me on, stuff that scares me, stuff that makes me sick, whatever. I like watching so many different things for different reasons. And Lethal Weapon's one of those things that tickles my funny and tickles my boom, boom, bang, bang kind of thing. And I think it does the explosions on television very well. And series like that have a trouble having second seasons and making them good. I'm not a big fan of reboots or reimaginations of certain things. It's really kind of awkward that I even like this show. But I do, and I'm hoping the second season is as good as the first one. Yep, we got Gotham coming back as well. And we have Maid of Darkness been watching South Park all week. Freak Show was the worst one, I thought. That was the one that the last one I like watched. I was watching. I was like, okay, I'm not watching this anymore. You liked it. You felt sorry for the freaks. I thought Freak Show was I agree with Broke. I thought Freak Show was hot ass, hot, dirty, smelly ass. That is Felicia. We're so glad. I'm happy you were drunk on your birthday. It's perfect time to be drunk on your birthday, and I think all of us are super excited to be able to be here with you and having some silly fun, and I hope you do have an amazing birthday. I was so confused when I heard they were making a TV based on the movie. And that's what I like about it, and Joe and I talked about this at all. They're not trying to make a one-for-one. They're definitely borrowing some story elements from the movie and doing some sort of take on it, but ultimately what I enjoy about it is that it creates almost its own universe within itself. I've heard good things about Ozark, but I haven't started it yet. Four times the funky. Ozark is on the list. It's probably Bojack kind of got in the way where we just zip through Bojack, but Ozark is one of the next series we're going to be watching, and I'm very curious about that. I haven't heard many things about it other than people telling me to watch it. So I think that's always a good thing when people are kind of vague about it. So I'm not sure what to expect going in. And I want to see Freaks and Geeks again. Any movie that can't get a sequel, the next step is a TV show at this point. They've been trying to, it's true, especially like old franchises that are looking to reboot themselves and they can't quite do a movie because it's too soon or something like that. They can go to doing a different television show. It's also was in for a couple of years where we got the Rush Hour series. I think there was going to be there was going to be a Beverly Hills Cop series. And then we got the Lethal Weapon series, got the Limitless series. And I think Limitless was really well done. And I kind of wish it continued. Everyone wanted it to continue, but they couldn't really pay to keep it continuing. And I don't think not Brad Whitford, but what's his name? Bradley Cooper wanted to continue doing it as well. So I think that became a problem. But Lethal Weapon, for some reason, it just works for me. I think because they kind of switched it a little bit. Maybe it's because Damon Wayans is charming in it, or they change up the characters enough to make it a little interesting for me, a little bit more interesting for me. But I don't know if it's going to be one of those shows that once it's aware of itself a little bit too much, it's going to just go right downhill. Some shows are like that. Rush Hour TV show did happen, but it failed. It was really bad. They're really scraping the barrel there. But even sometimes when you're scraping the turd barrel, you can get, a really good turd that you're proud of. and like watch that turd and go, hey, that turd's not bad. That turd looks like the Super Mario Brothers movie. And it's not bad because I like watching it. It makes me smile. I like watching Koopa eat a pizza. It definitely makes me very, very happy. Hey, Walking David, we were just talking about you. Lethal Weapon is pretty good. It is pretty good. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I think we got a caller. Let's take a caller before I call it an evening. It's a lot of calling. This is from area code 781. I think this might be the Bloody Talker. I think it's the Bloody Talker. What's going on, buddy?
It's not the Bloody Talker, dude.
Oh, it's Hannibal. How's it going, Hannibal?
Yes. And I was on, so I forgot what I was going to fucking say. But I just wanted to cheers to you, Phil, for being the best live stream motherfucker.
Oh, you rolled it.
Cheers to Q out there, BBM. Cheers to fucking Felicia for her birthday or whatever. Is her birthday 9/11? Holy shit. And that's all I'm going to say, man. Just being cool, you know?
No, dude, you're fucking awesome as always, dude. Thanks for calling in.
I'm pretty stoned.
Join the fucking club.
I saw it today. It was fucking dope, man. You got to see it.
No, I'm actually going to go see it.
Just like straight.
I actually really like. I was gonna say
it's like Stranger Things, man.
Is it? It
definitely fucking ripped off Stranger Things, kid.
Did you like the '80s one? Did you like the one back? Georgie, you want to play?
The what?
Did you like the original one?
Oh, the original. Oh yeah. Oh, holy shit, dude! Fucking kidding me? I'll send you a meme right now. Fucking Tim Curry. That's the only thing that can't compete. Everything else was fucking cool, but the Pennywise is not Tim Curry. You know what I'm saying?
That was the question I wanted to ask.
He is Pennywise to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. I mean, that was the question I wanted to ask.
Did I miss anybody? Yeah, your mom. I don't know who's in the fucking chat. But yeah, don't drink too much, Felicia. You're going to fucking have a headache tomorrow. And you're going to have to drink some Gatorade.
Thanks, buddy. Talk to you soon.
That's all I'm saying, brother.
Peace. Good talking to you, Hannibal. So, but yeah, I was curious about that because I think so much of the original Tim Curry has so much charm. I'm just curious if the clown works in a similar way. But I'm very excited to see it. I've heard a lot of really good things, and I'm planning on seeing it probably sometime this week, I hope. But yeah, no, I actually really enjoy the original in a very cheesy, good sense. I almost watch it as a comedy, but I don't expect this as a comedy. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. When you're saying it's a little bit like Stranger Things, I'm very curious about that because it probably means it's a little bit more Goonies-ish at times too, and has a little bit more of that kind of like friendship group vibe. And what I'm curious about, and I just don't know, and I guess I'll wait to see the movie, is if how much of it is just in the kids' part and how much of it do they do with the adults, or if they saving the adult stuff for the inevitable sequel. And I guess it's in the way they do movies now. It's probably like all kids, and then they're gonna like save the sequel for the adult shit. You better review it. I'm so hyped for the new It. I actually heard it's really, really good. They stay closer to the books. How do you like them apples? We all float, Georgie. Oh shit, there's clouds and balloons in the chat. Fuck. Fucking scary. There's no such thing as Felicia drinking more. We got the Walking David who's being bad Jiminy Cricket in the live chat on Felicia's shoulder. He's like, no, Felicia. Actually, little Felicia. Little finger. I can't do a little finger voice. I'm just embarrassing myself now. I was gonna try to do a Picard there. Earl Grey, hot. You are correct, Phil. Yes, you are correct, sir. Yes, you are correct. Oh, excuse me for this long pause while I'm going to take a sip of water. This is going to be a weird pause. Let me drink water. Anyways, so fuck. Knocking shit all over the place. Thank you for that. That moment of silence is brought to you by Audible. Littlefinger, I always encourage you to drink. Me too, Phil. I always laugh my ass off in the library scene with the noisemakers straddling the railing. I go crazy. Spoilers at the first boss. Sexiest water music break ever. Needs music every time I need to drink music. I need to play different music every time I take a drink. And then we can do this one be. Actually, that didn't work as good as the music. That didn't work. Play something else. Sorry, Phil. I'm doing it as hard as I can. You're doing it as hard as you can. Stop that. I'm sorry, I can't stop doing it. I'm running this thing as hard as I fucking can, you dumb shit. Okay, thank you, Miles. Thank you, Miles Edward O'Brien. I will say again for someone else, what the hell am I watching? I feel bad for anyone that's just kind of wandering on in here that might be looking for an Orville review. And I'm just talking about some popcorn. I just went into my microwave oven and I just had the Redenbacher, or some might call it the Orville. This cheese popcorn dust that you put onto it may be toxic, but it sure does taste like real cheese. Yeah, ditch the Metrodome. Yeah, the Metrodome sucked. I knew it sucked. I definitely sucked. So where we get an elevator joke. That's some classy porn music. We need music every time you drink. Telling you this shit gets rigged. We can see you, Phil. What door? Charles Manson enjoying some Aquafina. Excuse me. Come on, guys. Just go and kill somebody. You can do it. You can do it. The voice of the words of Phil aren't those of Phil at all. Good morning, brainwashed. Best water commercial ever. Hi, I'm Charles Manson. And if you're not killing somebody, you should drink some water. Because that's what you do. Oh. No, but thank you everyone for indulging my goofiness. I do appreciate it. You guys are too nice. How was it? Was it shit? It wasn't quite shit, but it was boring and didn't really interest me in the way I wanted it to. It disappointed me on two ends because I thought it tried to have its, when I said earlier, it had its dick in two jars. It stuck its dick in two different jars instead of fully sticking its dick into one and truly satisfying that jar. Yeah, that works. 99% of serial killers drink water. 99% of serial killers drink water, and so should you. If you're not killing somebody, you should be drinking some water. Mr. Rogers after the firing. What's Uncle Phil doing this time? You don't want to know what Uncle Phil's doing this time. Uncle Phil's broke. Or broken. Well, both. Uncle Phil's a combination of broken. Sorry, did I say jars? My dick in a jar? I don't know why that imagery makes me smile. I think I said vagina last time. You're sticking your dick into two vaginas instead of satisfying one. It's better than jars, because jars don't have feelings. I don't know what kind of jars you've been talking to, Phil. But the kind of jars I'm talking to, they got feeling. Maybe you're right. Weird part of my personality. Yeah, he's right. Other part. You're right too. You guys are all right. They're right. I guess it had some relevancy. I think it finally worked. Make me. Oh, you fuck dick in a box. Plot twist. It wasn't vodka. It wasn't water. It was vodka all along. That would make a lot more sense, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be better for everybody if it actually was? Ooh, I think we have a voicemail. Let's see. Let's listen to this. Let's see if we have this voicemail.
I'm telling you, man, the shit's rigged. I've been trying to do a call-in for like 20 minutes. It's the weekend of Felicia. Take a fucking shot. Don't just look at the camera. Take a goddamn shot. That's Juliana Mormont. Love you. Where's my goddamn trivia song?
That is the birthday girl. Call it on in. We dared her till she did. Stop looking at the fucking camera, you smiling hippie asshole, and drink your ass off with me. Fine. Fuck it. Fuck all. Oh. Maiden says, I'll put my dick in a jar just for you. Uncle Phil's dick in a jar. You think everyone deserves pleasure. Everyone deserves fun, whether you're a lonely guy or you're the most popular dude in the neighborhood. So I want to introduce you to something truly special. That special thing will change your life like never before. That, in fact, is Phil's... See, I fucked it up because I was searching for music and I started laughing. That is Phil's dick in a jar. Phil's dick in a jar is 100% natural. Phil's dick in a jar uses real live cultures and sea animals to create a unique experience like nothing ever before. This is like masturbation times a billion. It's the male equivalent of the symbiote. It's an incredible invention of society. Order now and get a free diaper. So yes. Okay. Now I have to wait in horrible anticipation for that to catch up to me. This is the best part of doing this thing because you guys live aren't hearing what I'm doing, so now I have to turn and wait like, oh fuck. This is when the record scratch happens. Zip. I'm done with you, you fucking dirty prick. Uncle Phil's dick in a jar when I had put sea cultures in there or something. I was thinking squid or manatee leaves or something. I don't know. It wasn't quite clear, the proper. That needed more planning out. Oh my god, I almost just made out with my boyfriend's best friend's girlfriend. I'm so drunk. I don't think anyone would mind. Turn your curly dick in a jar emoji. There we go. You better pick up some diapers. If you loved muff in a jar, you're gonna love dick in a jar. That's the perfect amount. That's the perfect amount of drunk Felicia. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. I don't have a cough. Wait. There we go. That was a cough button. There. I'm back. Squid. Yeah, squid and mayo. That would have been better. It's a sale. Phil's dick in a jar is allowed on an airplane too. Then you see excuse me. What's in the bag? My dick in a jar. Dick in a jar is fully biodegradable. If you put dick in a jar, if you bury dick in a jar, it grows a tree in your honor. Oh my fuck. And this is ridiculous. And everybody, again, thank you so much for humoring me with this goofiness. This is so people in my everyday life don't have to hear me rant as much. So I should once I start talking about Phil's dick in a jar, I think that's about the point to end the show. Oh my goodness. A redwood tree. Yeah, it'll be like a redwood tree in a plane. I didn't talk about that too. At the end, when I was just kind of zipping through, I kind of liked and found in a funny, comical sense. I enjoyed the tree blowing up the ship. I thought that was at least done humorously. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. But everyone, what have we learned tonight? We've learned that a dick in a jar is a very good thing. We've learned that it's Felicia's birthday and we're all enjoying ourselves hanging out with her tonight. We've learned that Orville wasn't exactly excellent on the first night, but there is hope in the future, maybe for some good episodes. I learned that Bojack Horseman touches me in inappropriate ways. Also mentioned that Curb Your Enthusiasm is coming back on October 1st, and Walking David and I are going to be reviewing it. Dave will be on a bunch of those reviews, and I'll be here at least every week after the episode or the day after the episode to talk about it. And I've been doing a rewatch of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it's fucking amazing, funny comedy. And we talked about a dick in a jar. So I think you can take these things, really, really think about this stuff. And when you come back, I want a paragraph each about these things that you learned and how you're going to use them to establish your own place in the squid colony of Alpha Centauri 7. So on that note, everybody, thank you while I beam up to my planet. Bzzz. I just went really weird. That was great. I didn't even know where I went there. That's better. I'm happy with that. I should have ended things right there. Why can't I end right there? Felicia, again, the only one that liked it. Felicia, you're not the only one that liked it. Joe Dirtylocks liked it as well. Iron liked it. My friend Evan enjoyed it. And I'm sure a lot of people enjoyed it. So I think enough people enjoyed it on Fox that Fox will cancel it. I mean, I definitely think that's going to happen. I think there'll be enough people that enjoy it for Fox to cancel it. Because that's what they do when people enjoy shows. They usually cancel it. But no, I don't think you're the only one. I think I'm being a little extra nitpicky about Seth and stuff, and I think there are probably a good percentage of people that enjoyed it. Felicia, huge hug. You're a sweetheart. Appreciate that. I know I feel enlightened. Orville was better than Star Wars. I'm sure Seth MacFarlane liked it. I know he definitely liked it. Drink to Felicia, I'm sorry, it was funny. Great popcorn mash show. Uncle Phil's dick in a jar now with more matinee blubber. Manatee blubber. Matinee blubber. I was thinking about when I was going to see it. Uncle Phil's dick in a jar now with more manatee blubber. Call now and get a second dick in a jar. Just pay shipping and handling. Sorry, I want to get all this, read this all as copy. Call now and get a second dick in the jar. Dick in the jar, just play. Take two. Call now and get a second dick in the jar. Just pay shipping and handling. Happy Arbor Day. Uncle Phil's dick in a jar, now with more manatee blubber. I actually like the Arbor Day joke. What? No. What's Arbor Day? Oh, because you plant a tree in Arbor Day. Oh, yeah. It doesn't really have too much. Oh, Felicia, I love that. And within that hug, I'm gonna linger a little too long and probably make it a little awkward because I'm a people slut. So go hug. Yeah. Oh wow. Oh yeah. Thank you. Thank you. See, Uncle Phil's ketchup couch. Now with dick in a jar. You want to fucking It doesn't have as much of a Family Guy vibe as other Seth MacFarlane properties that he's done. I think I mentioned this a few times, but that's one of my biggest problems with it. I think they either need to go all the way in that direction and go full Seth on it and try to do some interesting takes, interesting satire on the Star Wars, Star Trek medium, or go all the way in the other avenue. Or balance it too and keep doing what they're doing and build their own audience of people. And, like I said, for the bunch of people that we have out here, it seems to be split. More people seem to be down on it, but it definitely seems like there is a percentage of people that enjoyed it. Excuse me as I go to sip more wine. Oh, fuckers. Tits up to Felicia, I think we might be doppelgangers, at least from the angle in your picture, says Maiden of Darkness. Give a fuck you, Felicia. Fuck you, Felicia. Tits up to the chill. Oh, fucking great day. It's a fucking great day. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I'm having too much fun talking to you guys. And I still got a little bit of food. But I'm definitely going to continue watching it and watch at least the next 2 or 3 episodes and try to see if the show grows on me, is compelling enough to grab me. The thing that makes me both curious and I don't know if it's excited. It's a hard thing to explain. That it's episodic. It's not going to be an ongoing story arc. It's not going to be a beginning to end, like an ongoing story. Like it's not going to be like modern day television. It's going to be like 90s television where everything gets wrapped up in an hour in every episode. Excuse me. I think that has potential for this kind of series to be a good thing. When you can just kind of not have to watch every episode every week, you can kind of tune in once in a while and it might be a good episode. You're like, oh, this episode of Orville was really good. You should check this one out. So you don't have to watch every episode after every episode for that completionist kind of thing to it. Every episode's going to be like The Love Boat or Star Trek Next Generation or Voyager. They'll probably have a couple of 2-parters or something. But it's going to be all one and done storylines. And I think for what this show's trying to do, that would work way better than an ongoing story arc like most modern day TV or like Deep Space Nine was. No, don't go yet. Don't go yet. Never gonna give you up. Well, I do need to go. Never gonna give. Don't you dare leave. It's a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. Oh, and a full-time fuck you, Rosita. Talk Gotham. Just talk Gotham. Serialized is the word. Thank you, B. Leon. So this is going to be more of a serialized thing rather than or it's going to be more episodic than serialized. Strike that. Reverse it. So, shit, now you lost your wine? Should put a fucking, one of those remote control finders on the glass so you can put the thing and it beeps at you. Beep, 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 beep. On my wine. Stop the nonsense now. Go. Just get out of here, Phil. Stop this fucking stream. It needs to be over now. We're done with you. We're done with you. So everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this silly little video, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, share the channel with a friend. And if you're new here and you're checking out this for the Orville review, thank you so much for making it this far. Make sure you left a comment in the comment section below if you're not watching this live so I can know that you checked this out. And let me know what you thought about Orville. I'd love to hear, even the people that liked it or liked it a lot more than me or hated it way more than I did too. And they're like, Phil, come on, you're defending this boring piece of shit that's this or that another thing. Or Phil, you're an idiot. This show is fucking amazing. That's what's tough when I'm kind of in the middle on it because I'm probably I'm talking about this show pissing off me on both ends. I could piss off people that really love it or people that really hate it because I'm like, I'm sort of in the middle right now. But take a damn shot. Take a fucking damn shot, motherfucker. That's for Felicia. This show will be episodic versus serialized like Breaking Bad. Exactly. And like Discovery too. Discovery is going to be serialized, I believe. I took a damn fucking shot too. But no, you guys are fucking amazing. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Talk to you guys next time. I guess it's time to go. It's always tough to go when you don't want to go. But good night, everybody. I'll talk to you later.
Oh, loose or lost, I'm off the blocks, the post edge back at the top. See you there when the bruise is clear. I'm clearly better when I'm dropped. Born through rare, man's got lost. Sick on the bum like an old man mother. Wants to hurry to get away. Say I'll bring you when you let go again. The words cover, mean to side, but bless each other. Get a life is the best I see. Don't wanna live too what it's me. make me feel like a pothead. You took away something I love, the one thing that makes me happy to held my head. You pissed off the wrong person. I just wanna make you suffer for this. Yeah, payback's a bitch, a little bitch. Don't worry, 'cause I'm still the end. I feel like my full win. Check it out, I'm gonna get a bounce. You go Mercer side, I'm a bitch, I'm a projectile. I close my mouth, I hold my heart. I'm standing on sand, my legs spread apart. Care about the vine that is your line that used to be mine, so I dragged it down the
One quick thing. Oh, I'm back. I didn't go. Hey, everybody. That song that you're asking about, 4 Times as Funky, thank you for sharing that link. Unfortunately, that song isn't at that link right now. That is from a different band. If you search the band Frightening Dick Theater Dick Torture, that's the name of that song. I think you should be able to find maybe like an old MySpace page or Reverb Nation or something with my old band. If not, you can email me at igotissuesman@gmail.com, or I can create a page where I will upload that Frightening Dick Theater stuff. Or you can also find us on Facebook under Frightening Dick Theater. That's my old band. Both of those are my old bands. Neither one of them are in existence anymore, but that is a much older song, so it's not available on that medium. But you can find it with a little bit of legwork, or I can make it available at some point later. But yep, that song's called Dick Torture from the band Frightening Dick Theater. And yes, we mean Richard, of course. Get your fucking minds out of the gutters,